Hey, Matt Noren at the Community Workbench. I proudly sponsor the Community Workbench and everything that it represents for local entrepreneurs. And speaking of which, I am a local entrepreneur. I am a realtor with Remax Bell Park in Dayville, Connecticut. Fully licensed in Connecticut to do commercial, rentals, and residential. I absolutely love my job, love working with clients. So if you are in any need for a realtor, please give me a call, 860-428-6534. Your dreams are my job. Welcome to the Community Workbench. This is Matt Noren and Kyle Morrissey. We are your hosts of the #1 podcast in my basement, 1 year strong. At the bench, we try to repair the sense of community. So every week, we are bringing you small businesses, entrepreneurs, community leaders, charities, and pretty much whoever we feel like talking to. And today, we feel like talking to ourselves.
That's right, Matt. Why is today so special?
November 12th, 1 year ago, we went live for the first time.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it's just like so crazy how fast that first year went, and the days are slow, but the years are fast, I guess.
Yeah, and in typical form, we had a lot of technical problems tonight.
Yep, I was just gonna say tonight was pretty slow getting to this point.
If you follow Matt, you probably saw him go live before the Community Workbench went live.
Yeah, so we and about 15 minutes before that, nothing was working between the cameras and the programs that we normally use.
Yeah, but we're here.
So then we had to shut everything down, do the dumb guy stuff.
Yeah,
shut it all down, turn it back on.
We made it.
We made it. We made it.
Thank God we didn't have a guest.
Wow. Is what it is. So just to, kick off the night, because I didn't really know what else to talk about. I don't know if anyone else noticed this. This has been in the background for 3-4 weeks. My very, very good friend of mine, old friend, bought me a bottle of Blanton's, and this stuff is from a single barrel batch. And if you know us, if you've been listening, we kind of like bourbon, so we actually love bourbon. So as a toast, we will have some of this very expensive bourbon, very good tasting bourbon. And thank you, Andy. You don't waste the Blantons.
Oh, yes, everything.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, buddy.
So good. See? You don't even need an ice cube. You could have thrown that back in there. I'm not going to use it.
Well, I guess if you pay a lot of money for a bottle,
yeah,
it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
That's good. That's awesome. Not that it was free, but just, a toast to a year.
Right.
I mean, you think about a year ago, and it was just like, all right, we'll keep calling businesses and start. And I think over the year, a lot reached out to us, which was awesome.
Yeah. I'd almost say 60-40.
That's funny. I said that to myself in the car today when I was trying to figure out this. It's about that, I think.
60% reached out to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely more reached out to us.
Oh, yeah.
Over the year. And
if you know a small business, feel free to have them reach out to us.
Right.
We are booked through up into January, right?
All the way through January.
Yep.
So, and then I have to reach out to Friends of a CC and the Daily Bread. I want to get them in there in February.
Yeah.
Hopefully the first 2 weeks of February.
Yep.
And we can do our Spread the Love campaign again where
maybe get a new logo, a new drawing.
Right. Yeah.
New year, new season.
Yeah.
We'll spell it right this time.
Nah. It's overrated. Words.
We know.
We should make a few up on there. Anyway. But yeah, we'll basically, if you call in or email us, we don't do too much vetting or any at all, really. We just put you on the very next Monday that we can that we have open. Yeah. And we get you in here. So yeah, pretty excited about the upcoming schedule. We got a lot of good entrepreneurs coming up. Like next week's Tommy Toy Fun, so that's their second appearance, and that's right before their thing, their big day or 2 days of distribution.
Yep.
Of the toys, and then
we'll find out where they're going to be in the northeast corner.
Yeah, we'll definitely do all that, and we'll also we're gonna have the Chop Shop on. They're promoting another type
they have
of charity.
He was an early episode too.
Yeah, early supporter. So when he said that they do that, it's like a Sunday that all their haircuts for him and a couple other barbershops all gets donated to.
Maybe we'll go. Yeah, I mean we don't have much to cut, but
yeah, it'll be better because it's more. If we give them money,
I don't mind being pampered.
More. Oh, I know. I know.
Men can enjoy nice things too.
Not real men.
Have you ever had the ear hair burned off of you?
I haven't. That does sound good because mine grows so fast.
We know it's peeking out from those earphones right now.
I did notice in our picture, I brought it up to you that the microphone covers up most of my grays, so I look a lot younger than you.
Yeah,
it's kind of awesome.
Well, we know it's a black and white picture. Mine's very white. There's very little black.
Yeah, it seems to hide mine and accentuate his. So from now on, sepia or black and white pictures.
I mean, I feel like we look better in black and white anyway.
Yeah, the less detail, the better. That's for sure.
Yeah, one could say that.
I mean, just amazing support. We have the president of the Killingly Business Association and local lender Jason Barano coming up too.
Yep.
He's vowed to get us a lot more followers before he gets here. So that was
I just
really
saw
a cool pledge.
I must be a holiday picture of them. I didn't. I thought it was only him and his wife, but they have like several loan officers in there, huh?
Yep, yeah, and I don't think she's even a loan officer. I think she's just. I think she owns the owns part of it or owns some of the real estate that they own. I don't know if she does loans. I think we'll hear all about it from Jason, but
is she not coming on?
I don't know. She might. Nice job. That's like $50 right there. You spilled on the thing.
When I get my first paycheck, I'll give it back to you.
Oh, God.
It's like Heartburn King right now.
Oh, really? Wow. I don't feel that at all.
Must be my age.
Yeah. What are you, 2 years younger than me?
Yeah.
But yeah, Jason and Lindsay, they do a great job. A lot of teamwork there. And I can't wait to hear more about it.
We've had great episodes with everybody that's come on and incredible work. I mean, last night, hearing everything that the Danielson Coffee House does is amazing.
Yeah. I truth be told, I was on the verge of tears, like almost the whole episode. That's just so. I mean, the gratitude that they have for the country, the freedom, and it's just like we should have that overwhelming gratitude to them, and they, it's wild how their mindset is to just help other vets and anyone else that gets in the way.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about last night, it's like you have that bone to serve, right? You have it's just like in your blood,
right? And
so they serve the country, and they come out and they're like, how can we help? And it's like, okay, let's serve our veterans that serve the country, And what's incredible is that they're veterans themselves and the amount that they dedicate to other people.
Yeah, that's just so amazing to even just be across the bench from people like that. That's what puts me in awe. You put any Hollywood fame, I don't get tongue tied or anything, but you put me in front of a veteran, anything like that, I'm like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
Starry eyed and just can't get enough of it. And then
it was and even just when Fred's talking about the food share, right, and logistics of something like that, and not just getting the food there, but then having the forethought to say, okay, we have this many cars, or okay, the line's dying down, we can give a couple people a couple more, a couple less. But then also having to say, no, we can't give you any more
Yeah.
because there are other people, which is heartbreaking.
Right.
But you know, you getting a box,
Yeah.
a second box means I'm not getting a box.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, they get to the end of the line and there's not enough for everybody in the line. That's also just to take that in. I mean, on a monthly basis is just like, and then you think about that, like what they went through in wartime.
Yeah.
Probably so much worse, you know. Like,
Well, that's
like,
it. It's like he's like that's probably a piece of cake for them,
right. Yeah, that's
you know?
true. That yeah.
Like when you
The
look
hardest-
at perspective, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not in a foxhole. I'm distributing food to people. you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Not to take away from it, but perspective is everything in life, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier when you're saying, "Oh, we can do anything. We can volunteer at the coffee house. We can do this. We can do that." Because you get the resources now.
Right. Yeah. And just how open they are. You know, if you're a veteran in need, man, just take that phone number and go and call them, because that's who you want by your side anytime, not just in wartime. Those guys are.
Yeah, I mean, you think like we say not just in wartime, but some of these guys, for them, in their mind, it is wartime, right? Like they can't get away
shut
from
it off,
right?
Yeah.
And so the fact that they were able to get a VA guy from Providence to come in once a week to be able to help them get into the system and stuff. I mean, it's not just a breakfast, right? It's like we're not
so
feeding
many
you
other
once,
services.
right? We're like giving you resources. What can we do to help you, to connect you to people that will get you the things you need, you know? And not a shame on the government, but I mean, it's ridiculous that you serve your country in any capacity and you're still divvied up into these classifications and you get less because of X, Y, or Z.
Right. Yeah. And I thought about that more, even like some of these, they call them weekend warriors, or the National Guard, Air National Guard, Army National Guard, or the reserves. And they get called up to like a hurricane. I mean, they're still witnessing some horrific things when it comes down to it. It's not just a walk in the park or anything. And, when they're deployed for, even if it's just like the other side of Connecticut, they're still away from their family during a horrific
Well, that's the thing, is
hurricane,
it's not even what they see per se, but they drop everything immediately and go. And it's just ridiculous that, like, okay, it's not really fair in that sense, because anybody's going to, everybody's created differently and everybody's level of toleration in things is different. Right?
Yeah.
So somebody's PTSD from overseas might be not as bad as somebody from here that did something like Sandy or Katrina or something like that,
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, I think along the line, if you sign that blank check, you're entitled to any of the benefits, honestly.
You should be.
It should be.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when I was a paramedic, we had the contract with the Boston VA and up in West Roxbury, and the stuff you saw that they had to jump through for basic care was
the hoops.
Yeah, it was nuts. Absolutely nuts. But
yeah.
That was only one episode.
Yeah, at least we're, doing our best to shine the light on it, and like, we'll definitely have them on again, and we'll do whatever we can as far as being a voice for any of the local.
Yeah, and if you want to volunteer, right, you don't have to be a veteran. You're not volunteers.
Yep.
You can volunteer to serve breakfast, cook breakfast, whatever they need, right?
Yep, my mom, my aunts, they all volunteer when they can. They're, retired, and they love it. They're super passionate.
We should retire.
So.
That'd be.
I should retire.
No, I'd like to retire.
We should. Yeah.
It is a bucket list item of
retire. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
But that was like the most recent episodes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, if you want to share the screen with the board that you made for us, not that one.
No, I know. I have to go back.
There you go. How come it's not on the big screen anymore? Anyway.
Well, we've had a lot of technical difficulties tonight.
Put it somewhere. If you're looking at the screen, Happy birthday to Community Workbench Podcast.
Yeah.
Look at the pictures. I mean, just we started with pseudo in the ice box. Those are pretty bright ones on there. As far as the picture, I would love to get and some people on here for an update for that, because that's actually still going on. So I won't speak about it, but that was when I got that enough of a kick in the butt to be like, you've been screwing around with this platform for 2 years without going live, without publishing anything, and these guys need some publicity. So we just went live with the phone, and then the second week we went live with the Icebox again. That time, so the first episode was me, Ben Wakely, and Mike Snyder, and we just went live and had a conversation about what was going on with the Icebox. And then the second episode was with Jen Nemeth, Icebox owner, and 3 employees. I think it was 3 employees.
2, yeah.
That was a tough one. To hear all their stories and what they were going through because of the lawsuit, the frivolous lawsuit, and which, I'm sorry, was just an attack out of a bias or a prejudice, if you will. And anyway, it was born. Then we had some of the early supporters like John, Jenna came on next, and
we had I forget his name, but he builds dog ramps.
Yep,
nice.
John
Not
Cretion.
like
John Cretion, custom dog stairs and dog ramps, and
Chop came on early.
Yeah, he was one of the first ones to reach out, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He like that, and that was kind of like the opening up the levee.
Last Green Valley Football Club, they reached out.
Yeah, it just kept going, kind of like that. It was like one after another. We were like, this is way, because we were chasing at first and just hoping and praying people would be okay with coming on this platform and talking to us, because without them, we don't have any content. Without them, the episodes like this. Sorry.
I feel like our humor, though, could get us a little far.
Yeah. But then the ball got rolling, and we've been booked out, pretty much all year, a month ahead, 2 months ahead.
Yeah,
like
sometimes we're more than that.
Yeah.
And then, but it, I mean, I just think about the people that reach out, because I think, like, from that perspective, that was cool, because it was so like, this podcast exists now, and it's like a floodgate of businesses that just were like, hey, we'd love to come on, and everyone that came on was awesome, and like your story was great, and regardless of how you got started, if you're a small business in the area,
right,
we want to hear from you.
I love those stories of, hey, we started in the basement, we started in my friend's garage, anything like that. I opened up shop, and I went in the back room, puked, and then came back out. Those crazy stories are just
you mean a business owner?
Yeah, like a business owner's story.
I thought you meant like the first episode. You went and puked because.
Oh no, I didn't do that. No, I was talking about the origin stories, because that's kind of what we start with to get the ball rolling, the icebreaker for the show, for every show almost. So I mean, just and people seeing the value in it.
Yeah,
even if maybe it wasn't necessarily there yet, as far as how many viewers or followers.
Yeah, but we talked to like, it was eye opening. We went to the Quiet Corner Comic Sci-Fi. I don't remember the exact name of it.
Yeah, it's a long mouthful name.
We went there at Grill 37. That was great.
Yeah.
But we met Brown Brothers Haunting Hour.
Yeah.
I did that right.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how they would just email companies, say, hey, you want to do that? And so it's not really.
They were emailing for sponsorships.
Right.
Not even guests.
Right.
So like they were asking for money.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should do that.
Well, we're trying to give an interview.
Oh yeah, we
So-
we won't ever charge to come on and
Right.
spotlight your business. That's
Yeah, that's
one thing we definitely agree on.
the whole point is to get people to know who's here in Northeast Connecticut, and in the surrounding areas. And even if you're not from the surrounding areas and you're from far out, if you're a small business and just give us a
We don't
call.
care where you're from.
Yeah, because we're still
Your community
still-
is just as important.
right.
The internet
that-
goes around the
world.
world.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're local to a community, that still means something to us here at the bench.
We're just a vessel to get it out there.
right.
That's it, man.
Yeah. And that's it in a nutshell.
No, we can't end there.
No, but that's our main mission is to shine the light on.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like Worcester, like we did the Worcester Volleyball Club, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Providence, like these places are not far away for somebody to go and do something. Go
Right.
out to eat. Go to get pampered. Go,
You know what's cool? The Blazers, the
yeah.
coach, her
Oh,
picture that I put up of her at the bench is now her profile picture.
Yeah.
That to me was really cool.
Yeah.
So-
What that tells me is we need like a small logo right in the background.
I have to go get our scarecrow back. He's got the big circular
if it's even there.
Community Workbench logo. Yeah, I don't know what.
You know what? though?
I got to
Hey,
call
if
them.
you thefted it and you have the logo, feel free to prance it around town.
Funny word choice there.
Yeah,
I'd
it
say.
was. But at least it wasn't made up. Although, a made up word might have sounded more manly.
It's
But
not made up. It's just words you don't know.
does Webster?
I was told it's a madism. So I don't know if that's another made up word, but
We've already had the most comments, Karen. Hey guys, your show's the best. Keep the best kept secret.
oh well.
We don't want it
Share
a
the
secret,
show. We don't want
Karen.
it to be a secret. That's like the keep calling it the quiet corner. We're gonna be the quiet corner. It won't be the loud,
Yeah.
fun corner of Connecticut.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it numerous times, right? Like the sharing, the liking, just get your friends, to share and like this, and
Right.
and we can move mountains with stuff like that on the internet. you know?
Yeah.
And so John knows a guy that can assist with the logo.
That guy. Yeah, that's cool, man. We got wow.
Oh, Karen said, "Here's to the next year." Yeah, we
Yep.
saw Karen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a great episode too, Karen from Poets at Large. That was
Yep.
really neat.
Yep, she was great. That was a funny one. We weren't exactly sure what to anticipate.
No, that was.
She was
fantastic.
just the sweetest lady.
Yeah.
Came in, sat down, told her story. It
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we got to actually loop in the Vanilla Bean.
loop in the Vanilla
Well,
Bean.
Reach out to them, see if they want to come on.
So the Vanilla Bean's owned by the same people as like 85 Main, and they own another
Oh,
one
really?
in Willimantic, I believe, or they're in conglomeration with each other somehow. Whether it's
Justin asked if we've had Little Bread. It's funny he said that. Little River Bread in Danielson, right on Main Street, to come on. I literally was just thinking that as you were talking to reach out to them.
oh yeah.
So Little River Bread is right next to Chubby Dog.
So you weren't paying attention to me as usual.
No. Squirrel.
Justin
Margadano.
Margadano.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know what, Justin? Hold on a second. We still have your book. It's
Yep.
still in the studio. And a couple of family members actually bought this and are reading it.
Oh.
So we definitely got you a few sales, and that's what this is all about,
I mean, we can get you a few sales, or we had I don't know if Brandon's gonna sign up his kids for scouts, but
Yeah.
yeah,
that kind of connection.
if we can get somebody connected with a business that was looking for something that they offer,
Right.
that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I know. Ed Peach, the painter. He's always kind of looking for painters. They don't even have to have a lot of experience, and he's already had one that he trained from like the, you know, early stages of being a painter all the way up to he owns his own business in Florida.
Oh,
Painting.
that's right. Yeah.
So, you know, that's the kind of tutelage that Ed Peach offers with Gold Standard Painting. So,
Yeah.
if that's, you know, something you even think remotely about, you know, there's a path, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and he was a big champion for us when he
Heck
came
yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
he used me as a realtor. He has a very nice house, very nice place and nice lifestyle.
Oh, you're attributing that to you?
No, I'm attributing that as to be a painter.
Oh.
You know, a lot of people,
he talked
a lot
about
of people put it down, but
Yeah.
it's, I mean, there's no ceiling in it as to where you can go.
Because I think there was a ceiling. Oh, no,
if you paint the ceilings, you will shatter them. But anyway, Justin Margadana, read his book, Parallels and Facades. Really, really a good book.
He said book 2 coming this spring, so.
Yeah, and oh, awesome! It's coming this spring now.
That's what he said.
Nice.
So reach out to us, Justin, when you
publish
let
that bad
one
boy.
fly. Yeah, let
Heck
that
yeah.
one fly.
But yeah, this is definitely a really great tool when you're grieving. Really helps, like perspective, and it just gets your mind going as to. It really helps with like I would think the grieving process if you're ever like stuck, and you know what I mean, because it's a process that you got to get from.
No, you have to work through
one point to the end, and this I really think helps. And thank you for that, Justin Margadana. So,
you know what else helps with grieving? Watching the Community Workbench.
Yes,
we are.
Yes.
We're on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook.
Share, like, subscribe.
You can surprise somebody with a subscription.
No, I was saying subscribe. That's a different word. We'll talk about that later.
Maybe it'll be in our song.
That's right. Thank you to Ron Lynch III, singer-songwriter, lead singer of the band Hopeville General Store.
Yep.
Was here Sunday, and we have the picture right there. And yep, he was here. Unbelievably talented. My job was to be the thesaurus.
And you did a phenomenal job.
And, you know, we had these words about what we do, like being helpful or community, local, just other kind of like buzzwords that revolve around what we do here. And he was just like, get on a thesaurus and start. Am I saying it wrong? Thesaurus.
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 Yes,
Thesaurus.
there's an S.
Thesaurus.
Thesaurus. I have a fake tooth and I can say it. Thesaurus. You got it.
The thesaurus. And basically, I pelted more words at him, and just more verses and more song came out on the paper. It was wild. I kind of thought I was okay at creative writing, but him with songs and song structure, and I mean, just book him and you'll understand. He's just an extremely talented musician.
He's actually got a solo show coming up soon. The date is maybe this weekend at the Social. I know it's at Social down by the shore. I think it's in Norwich. But it's only him, not the whole band.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely look him up on Facebook. And you can
Ron Lynch the Third. You can't miss him.
Yeah, and then Hopeville General Store band. There's a Facebook page for both. Ron is very responsive on Facebook Messenger if you want to,
especially if you tell me you want to buy merch.
Yeah, merch and booking either the solo gig or the whole band. They're
the whole package.
Yeah, and speaking of bands, we had Whiskey Boulevard.
Yeah,
hold on.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
So a few days after they came on the podcast, they gave us some Basil Hayden bourbon. bourbon whiskey from Whiskey Boulevard, and they had a little sticker on the bag, so I taped that on, nice and
But
very formal looking. So
we should probably put a disclosure. We don't always drink on every podcast.
not everyone.
We do have drinks per se, but sometimes they're just water. Or, it's not always alcohol.
Whiskey Boulevard.
Throw that one out there.
It's not always alcohol. Last night was coffee and water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, we've had. What a segue. Well,
Here's
cheers.
to Whiskey Boulevard and all the talented musicians of Northeast Connecticut.
Yeah, because Matt tried to riff one time on a Fisher Price guitar and it didn't work so well.
It wasn't Fisher Price. Is that still riffing if there's no words? I thought I was just trying to get a chord.
No, a riff is, I think, just the chords.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
I was just, it was like a one chord riff because I was trying to get the chord.
Yeah, they just call that bad.
Yeah. YouTube can't make you a professional at everything.
No.
But yeah, thank you, Whiskey Boulevard. That was an awesome time.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, that was a great episode. They're all over the place. They're booked. I mean, they book a year out, it seems like, because when they came on, they had their whole year already booked.
Yeah, well, they're also in the wedding scene a lot. So,
Yeah.
and the wedding scene is like 1 to 18 months,
Yeah, you
to
got-
2
yeah.
years.
Especially bands, right?
Yeah.
They book up
Right,
early, so you got
yeah.
to book them out.
Yeah, because they don't just do weddings; they do everything. So,
Right.
And speaking of weddings, we had we had the wedding makeup artist on.
Oh, yeah. Ashley Holiday
Ashley
and her
Holiday.
team. Ashley, yeah.
Yeah, and Heather came
Yeah.
on.
They were great.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
We will have anybody
on.
anybody.
But not to say it like that.
No, but just like
yeah.
we're not like this,
right.
As
manly as I am and as not manly as Kyle is, we will still have makeup artists.
to
on
your
and anything.
surprise, no makeup was done, but we just talked about.
We had more makeup on Halloween.
Yeah, I look like a lady. I was Where's Waldo?
I kept thinking like Chris Christopherson when I saw that long silver hair with you. I don't know
Chris
why, but
Christopherson.
I'm giving you way too much credit, and you don't even know who he is. So
No.
that's even more sad.
The only Christoph I know is from
He's-
Frozen.
He's a singer, actor, and an activist of some sort. I forget.
Oh, okay.
Did you know we are activists?
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Wrote it down. Hold on. We are activists for local business.
Well, how about that?
Yeah, I thought of that one today.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast with Mike Rowe on it, who's an
I love
activist
Mike
for
Rowe.
the trades.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we love the trades, but we're a little bit more vague. We are activists for small business, the trades, and anything local. So, yep, that was a good one. I thought it was great.
That is. Yeah, I mean, I guess an activist is anybody that like sort of goes out of their way to promote something,
Right.
right?
Promote
Peaceful
or
activists.
yeah. Oh God, yeah. Please don't get in a fight with us. We will be.
No. Confrontation is not something we enjoy. No. Walk away.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah. So you're talking about activists. I had a great segue.
well, we did have a segue to the coffee roasters too. And
Yeah,
I want
we
to bring
went
that
by
back. but, we've had like
We
three
do drink coffee.
three local coffee roasters, and
Yeah,
with
they
that,
all roast coffee. That's wild.
well, and that, but we also had we had one,
Shay.
2, 3,
F.
4 coffee shops
Yeah.
on. So yeah,
That's true too. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're in Putnam,
there.
you got Sawdust up there.
Yeah.
You got Chubby Dog. A little bit different vibe. Chubby Dog closes early because they got coffee and gaming, and Sawdust is open a little bit later. They do music at night on Fridays and Saturdays, I think, on the second
Yeah.
floor.
Up in Putnam, and then
I did just see they have a food drive going on. So if you're up in the Putnam area and you want to drop food off, they do have a table in there.
for Chubby Dog.
Nope.
Oh,
Sawdust
has human food.
Yeah,
drop off.
Chubby Dog needs.
Chubby Dog has the dog food.
Correct. For Nikog.
For Nikog,
Yeah.
yes, because they are in dire need of food.
Mm-hmm.
Over 100 puppies there, or animals there that need food.
Yeah, I can't go there. I'll adopt them. I can't. I can't. Like, there's no way. I see that. Like, well, I don't see Nikog post as much. I follow some other local shelters.
Yeah.
And I could, like, if I was there, forget it. It's over. I probably would take most of them home.
And if you're like Kyle, just go to Chubby Dog and drop off the food or a donation and get yourself a coffee.
Yeah.
Yep. And last night the coffee was from Two Dogs, so I drink.
Yeah.
I drink all the coffee from all the shops. It is hard because you see these, and you see all these local businesses, and like I want to spend money at every one of them every day.
We know.
So where you are with the dogs, you adopt all of them. I want to spend money at or give them a referral every day. That's just
That's
do too.
I think about Wicked Sinister's meat.
Oh, so good with Sinister.
Yeah,
food there.
we had him on, and it was, out of this world. Remember when I ate your sandwich?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that was the first time I had been there.
So that's a great time out, is to go to Wicked Sinister, grab a couple of sandwiches or food, and then go over to Chubby Dog.
Yeah.
And get a beverage and sit and hang out and and
actually there's
eat lunch or whatever.
Sarah and I did that. It wasn't Wicked Sinister, but we had lunch at the new Emerald Buddha.
Yes.
Sound right?
I had takeout from there the other night.
It was fantastic.
Very good food.
So we had lunch there, and then we walked right next door to Chubby Dog and had a drink.
Nice.
So it's like, there's a lot to do now in that area. Chubby Dog is open late because they serve alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah, they had Saturday night open mic, and which usually, for the most part, it's when they give you the words to sing. What do they call that?
Karaoke.
Karaoke. There you go.
You did it.
It was just on the tip of my tongue.
I can't believe you haven't made it there yet.
I've been there.
For karaoke?
Yeah.
And sang?
No, I didn't sing. No, God, no. I have a voice and a face for talking on the radio.
You have a voice for audiobooks at night.
No,
to make you fall asleep.
Oh God, yeah, okay, touche.
It's like soothing. There's like there's no like inflection in like high tones or anything. It's like very soothing. But we both have a face for radio.
It's pretty close. When it comes to the avatars our kids made for us on Facebook, they're almost identical. It was before they were made before we knew each other. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't help. We're both bald. We both have beards. We're both about the same height.
Yes, and that brings me to the biggest moneymaker on from the podcast. 2 episodes, I forgot to wear a hat, and Hair Club for Men made the most money.
You know what I hear a lot of podcasts are advertising this company called Keeps.
Oh, geez, stop it.
You know what I'm talking about? They're talking about keeping your hair. But then the end of these podcasts are like, and they might help you grow more hair. And I'm like, what kind of advertisement is this? They might help you grow more hair.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I enjoy being bald. I have no problem with it. I find less maintenance. It doesn't bother me. I just feel bad I don't give any barbers any money.
Right. That's probably one of the biggest things there is not going to the barber shop. My son obviously has a great head of hair, and I don't even bring him to the barber shop as much as I should. So
yeah, Caleb doesn't. I mean, he just doesn't like. He doesn't want his haircut, and he doesn't need it. So it goes every 6 months.
Yeah, well, and it's not even that. I mean, my mother-in-law is a hairdresser, so that's the other thing is when the 3 of them get haircuts, it's all the same right in my kitchen.
My aunt used to cut my hair when I was younger.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
I had never. The first time I had ever got my haircut from a barber, 2017.
Right, you were already bald.
Yeah, it was for a wedding. That
Yeah.
was the the wedding gift from the groom.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there were like 10 of us. He rented it out or whatever, and I was like, I didn't even grow my hair long to make it worth it. I was just like, all right, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I got the burning of the ear hair, and that was
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah. There's other things to pamper, I guess, on the
Men can get
on that
paid,
list.
sure.
Yeah, for beard trims and stuff like that. Yeah, and I'm down with it. I honestly, it's just like out of routine. So
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, there's some people that uh, go like every other week, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
like, I'm on a routine to shave my head every 3 days,
Right.
right? But that's
Yeah.
just because it's easy,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I do mine in the shower. So
Yeah.
it's like a few extra minutes and you're done.
But if you have hair
Yeah. If you have
or
hair.
a beard, there's several local barbershops
Yeah.
in the area.
Great ones. And
Yeah.
in December, the chop early December, the chop shop will be here. I think the first Monday in December, the chop shop will be here
That's
to
something
talk
we
about
can actually
the
check.
Sunday. The Sunday that they raise money or whatever date that they do their big fundraiser, and that's multiple barbershops, I believe, that do it. So yeah, I think we should just plan a day and go get some stuff done and overpay for it. So
Oh, I think that's
up.
the one. Yeah, he's coming on December 2nd.
yeah,
That's the one.
first Monday of December. Chop
Ye-
shop will be right here. He'll tell us all about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we have some people coming back, but we worked through quite a bit of technical difficulties throughout the year,
yep.
and I think we've aside from
That's an
tonight-
understatement.
yeah, but aside from tonight, I think we've made it. You know what?
We have a routine.
Go look
and-
go look back at the first episode, or
Oh,
or
yeah.
even let's say like the fourth episode,
right.
and then look at these episodes and listen
Yeah.
how they
Oh, yeah.
sound. Right.
Right.
They're
How they
very
sound, how they look.
they're very different. So you know we'll have Rena back on. You know,
Yeah, for
Rena was
sure.
on for Tunk City, and
Yeah.
and she's doing a lot of other things now, and doing
Yeah.
paint nights everywhere, and
Yeah.
all kinds of cool stuff.
Shout out to Rena. She was one of the first ones to congratulate us on our 1 year anniversary. She was, one of the early supporters that just jumped right on, and she was kind of doing the boasting small business before we were on the podcast. She was a big champion
Yeah.
over on Main Street in Danielson. With her small business pushing and promoting and helping out all the other small
Well, you look
businesses
at
down there.
yeah, and you look at
Don't eat.
you could have said like it was like business,
Yeah, could have. That was 2 calls ago.
but you can drink. Amazing.
So, phone calls are on silent.
Oh,
It's the alarms
okay,
that aren't.
yeah.
So if my phone's on silent and I fall asleep, and still need an alarm to get up in the morning, I want the alarm to come.
gotcha.
So
Yeah, I mean, you look at so unfortunately Rena left and Main Street kind of got like revitalized, right? Like a lot of these things came
yeah,
in, but
timing was very tough.
Yeah.
for the whole
Yeah.
situation.
but she still had such a major influence on that
Right.
area and the
Yeah.
small business
Yeah.
in Killingly and bringing people to that area and being a champion of it and
Mm.
so it's while her brick and mortar is not there, you know.
Yeah, and I think most of her time for Killingly Business Association, she was like head or at least on the board of Killingly's beautification committee. So
Yeah.
she was part of the flowers and the vases and just the decorations of seasonal decorations, all
Yeah.
that type of stuff. So kudos to her. She did that for at least a couple of years, I believe. So,
Yeah.
um,
I mean, it takes the you're a small business owner in the area. They're all dedicated to growing the area, right?
Right,
And
right.
so
there's more foot traffic.
right
There's
they're
more foot traffic for everybody.
right. And so you look at you look at Adam from Chubby Dog, and you look at like he had that local band fest or
Right.
small band,
Yeah.
right? Which was incredible. He talked about it on that Halloween episode that we had.
Yeah. And it was a huge turnout. And
Yeah.
that's the other thing is when you have these events, the local community comes out to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, and spend money.
Right.
right?
So
So they had tons of food trucks, right? And so they provided some type of income for those food trucks,
yeah,
the
the
bands,
bands,
right? And so,
everybody.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
the
sponsorships.
hardest part of these things is getting them off the ground. Once you get them off the ground, it's like, okay, we got a blueprint.
Yeah,
What did we do last year? What worked? What didn't work?
yeah, yep,
And so it is. I mean, I moved to the area in 2015, and I look at even let's say from 2020 or 2019, say 2019 to now, you look at Danielson. I mean, it's a completely different Main Street.
yeah, yeah,
Gloria's
yeah.
Kitchen, right on the end.
Right.
She hasn't come on. We can try and reach out to her, but
Yep.
that was an empty space. Little River Bread,
Yeah.
Two Dogs, Chubby Dog.
Yeah. Even like where Shay
Yep.
over at Moon Magic, where she's taken that. I mean, she bought it as an active business.
Yeah, but I think she's taking it.
She's taken it to a whole nother level, and it's amazing. Amazing food, amazing drinks, as coffee drinks and that type of beverage.
Yeah,
I don't
dessert
think she
drinks.
does. Yeah, and then to open up a second one in Southbridge, right?
Correct.
So she's open and running up there too. So
And she's from Southbridge, so that was like I think a big, like, more of a home base for her.
well,
She knew a lot of people, right? There was
Right.
so it was like more familiar.
right, and it really kind of links our local with their local.
Yeah.
I think of it like this is like, oh, we have one too, and that it brings success to the area, that and that attitude. It only takes one shop owner to bring that type of local, like we were just talking about Rena,
Yeah.
and even when we talked to Black Pond Brewery,
Yep.
like it was a big decision for them to move off of Main Street just because of the vibe that's there. Or
Yeah.
that the Danielson Borough, that vibe is huge, and how they all champion each other. They all thrive to make each other successful.
Right.
And then
Well, they're all in the fight together, right?
right.
And
Yeah.
and you're not fighting for, like, just because he buys something there from you doesn't mean he's not buying something here, right?
Right.
So, yeah, granted, you're probably not going to buy a coffee here and then go there and buy another coffee.
Oh, I have.
Okay. Well, we all don't have that problem.
We have done the. I was actually my buddy that gave me this. We were. He's not from the area, and we went down one morning. He was staying with us for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and we went down to Main Street, and we had 2 dogs. Some of us got drinks, some of us got food. Then we went across the street, and some of us sat outside while the others went into Chubby Dog and got drinks. And then we bought bread from the bakery down there too. And then
That's what we're bread.
we kind of had a snack just strolling around on Main Street in Danielson. So,
But I mean, that's exactly what you want.
actually, and then we jumped in the car and we went to, that was the day of the Pink House Craft Fair, that big craft fair,
Roseland
Woodstock,
Park. Roseland Cottage.
Roseland Cottage, yeah, the Pink House up
Yeah.
in Woodstock, and that was just unbelievable. And we bought stuff there too. That was like a day of craft coffee, or small town coffee, and and then crafter merchandise and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
Yeah, it sounds
And they're from a big city, like they're from Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So
That's right. Yeah.
So they were like, this is so cool,
Yeah.
just like, and it's funny because, his kid's younger, he's an adult, he's a young adult, but he didn't want to go bar hopping. He wanted to go farm hopping. And one of the days he was here, we went from, Econk Hill to BZB Farm to my children's farm. Is it my children's farm? My kids' farm down in Canterbury. We just hit so many farm stands and farms, getting it. And he was buying cheese. He was buying meat. We bought ice cream. We bought.
I think people that live in
all kinds of
live in the city crave that.
It's
right?
so much harder, and they were just like every time we pulled up to a farm stand, sometimes some of them they'd walk past them and just look at the pasture,
Yeah.
look at the fields and stuff like that. It was really cool to see them see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it gives you a deeper appreciation to walk
Yeah.
out your door and see a
Right.
cornfield.
Oh yeah, and I mean, all of these are less than 30 minutes of a
Right.
drive for us, and like way less than 30 minutes of a drive, and for them, 30 minutes in Vegas, some hours will only get you a block down the road, and that's why I don't like cities.
Yeah, cities stress me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But speaking of pastures, maybe there's a maple tree. We had the we had the what's there?
The Bassett Brothers
Bassett Brothers,
Maple Shack on,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
their
God.
favorite drink of choice is blackberry brandy. If you don't have their syrup to chug down.
Yeah. But we went to there. They have I guess it's like an open house, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Their
So they
open
have
house.
a open house in must be the spring. And so we had them on the Saturday before, right? To
Yes.
talk about.
Yep, we
Yeah.
got them a week in advance.
Yeah. And so
And
so Tim and I forget his brother's name.
Oh boy, why'd you do that? The Bassett Brothers were here.
Yeah, they were. And so
What?
and
We're here for a good time.
so yeah, we had them on a week before. They talked about all the maple syrup process and tapping and everything, and their event was incredible. And they said they had the most.
Most turnout.
Yeah,
and it was
the
a
highest
rainy,
turnout.
and
Yeah.
it was a rainy Saturday.
Yeah, that was cold and rainy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was just so cool to see that. And that was the first episode that got shared by a town web.
Oh, yeah, Canterbury, yeah.
yeah.
That was-
Shout out to
yeah.
Canterbury.
Yeah.
Here's to Canterbury and the Bassett Brothers. That tastes way different than bourbon. It's very good though.
That's
Too sweet? It's very sweet.
That's delicious. But they, yeah, that was, yeah, that was a great episode. They brought us some tumblers for our coffee, and
Tim and Tom Bassett.
that's it. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So that was, yeah, I mean, that was awesome. We went there and we saw. So they do. I mean, they do a ton for the community there. They invite the
Right.
scouts there.
Yep.
It's a completely free event. The scouts get like this little maple syrup bottle.
Yeah, and they go through the whole process with the scouts.
Yeah.
So the scouts literally make their own syrup
Yeah,
while they're there.
yeah.
And,
It's just
and then
it's
they get
really
a little
cool.
bit to go home with, and
Yep.
then obviously their product is for sale.
Yep.
I left with a gallon.
You still have it?
It's almost gone.
Oh
Kayla was moving stuff around the fridge, and so we poured into a smaller
Yeah,
one
yeah.
so that it stays
Yeah.
in the back of the fridge, stays fresh. And she goes, "This is pretty light." I says, "Well, we have some people here that like sweets live in this house." So
I mean, if you put maple syrup on everything, it's gonna go a lot quicker.
yeah, it was definitely a delicious. It's always been, to me, it's always had a certain sweetness to it, and
Maple
Like-
syrup, shocking.
no, theirs has a different. It's like a rich flavor.
Oh,
It's, to me, like, because
you sound like a maple syrup connoisseur.
we've had taste tests before when I worked with Tim.
Oh,
He-
okay.
You know, he would like, and we'd try a couple of different ones and stuff like that. And yeah, it's definitely different than a lot of the other maple syrup. And I'm not. He says it's the machine that he has, because it's like having small batch bourbon. You know, it's a
Okay.
small batch, and the way they do it just gives you that, I don't know. It, like, to me, it's like, oh, that's, I don't know. It just hits you with more maple than the normal. Like, you won't, and it's a good thing, because you won't be able to eat as many carbs that it's on, because it's always on French toast and pancakes. So
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I can't eat as much because of how rich the syrup is. That kind of thing. So
yeah.
So it's healthy syrup.
One might say healthier. I mean, that was a great episode. They came on. Actually, so we had a few spotlights on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
When it made sense. That was one of them.
Yeah, there's only 52 Mondays in a year, and we are
done.
And we are at 56. No, 55 basically, and today is 56, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was great to get some extras in. One little, I was kind of like a little bit hoping for 60 on our anniversary, but yeah,
we pushed hard throughout the year.
Yes, we did. We pushed hard.
Yeah.
To shoot for 60 and only get 55 is really
this is 50.
An amazing thing.
Well, 57 will be Monday.
Yeah, but we're at 57. It's 56 for the year.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we committed to one podcast a week. We have families, jobs.
Wait a minute now. We went live on my personal account for about 30 seconds.
Does that count?
Is that an episode? I think I already deleted it. So
you're a public figure. I understand. I don't even know why that. I have no idea why that even came up. Because usually, I don't know. Yeah, that was 100% on me. But
I wasn't gonna blame anyone, but
if that's if that speaks volume of the challenges we've had this year with technology, and
right, that's
it sums it up.
Yeah, if you one word, growth.
Although today
stunted growth.
Today almost regression. It was borderline
stunted growth.
So yeah, that was great. We had them on. We had Sun to Moon on early. That was a Wednesday episode.
Yeah, that was a Wednesday episode. That was different.
Yes,
having a Wednesday morning.
They do event planning, and so that's cool.
Yeah.
They were pretty early on,
and they did do a very different setup at the event we went to afterwards. The one that we promoted.
Yeah,
it was at the down there in Brooklyn. I mean, down there in Moose Up.
Yeah.
But, hey, Ricky and Lucy.
That's
relax.
There's dogs in every episode.
All right. Stop.
Let's just hope they don't knock the camera over.
Don't hurt each other. Anyway, and we had a dog groomer on.
Oh yeah, we had Kelsey. Yeah, actually, Soapy Paws, Kelsey. That was she grooms our dogs. They're going in actually day before Thanksgiving. I don't think you could get a closer date to the holiday.
Oh, your dogs are going in
the
day before.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he had the little one does not need as much care, but Oakley, his
Ray-Ban.
hair is.
I like to call him Ray-Ban.
He's a golden doodle. Looks like a lamb, basically.
He's way more golden than Doodle. That's
yeah. But so he needs his haircut. So we probably, if we weren't hosting Thanksgiving, I don't know. But Kelsey does awesome work. She's down there on North Society Road. I don't know the address. She does have a sign on the road.
Yeah,
purple sign.
And
she's awesome. She does. So she's a one-woman show. Sometimes if it gets busy, other people help her, but for the most part, it's one. So she typically only will take one dog at a time, or if it's like Oakley and Lily, she'll take them both and do them both at the same time. But so it's not like some of the big box stores where they're in a kennel the whole time or whatever. She just lets them roam, and it really is a really good experience for the dogs.
Yeah, it's definitely not as traumatizing.
Yeah.
I remember her explaining her whole process.
Although my dogs tell me all about it when they come out of there, and they're pretty messed up. But he's messed up before he goes in.
Your dogs talk to you, or is it the voices in your head?
I had to, Oakley's 75 pounds. I had to carry him into the building. So if that doesn't tell you anything. But yeah, she's
too much hype ahead of time.
Yeah. I mean, I talked him into it. I was like, hey, we're going for a walk. The day of the groomer. But no, in all seriousness, Kelsey is awesome. She's very reasonable, loves animals.
Yeah, that was definitely apparent.
Yeah, she was on, talked to us about how she used to cut human hair.
Yeah.
I don't blame her.
She couldn't take the the human.
Listen, as an introvert, being a dog groomer is a dream compared to a hairstylist for a human.
That's funny.
But yeah, she was great. So if you need a dog groomer, or I don't know if you groom cats, but
She does, or she says once in a while she'll take a cat. But
Well,
I remember that was like that's like another level.
yeah, and there might not be a demand for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most cats groom themselves.
Most people-
Even my dogs themselves, the Weimaraners, they groom themselves. So
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot to do.
Yeah, I think it's more long haired.
Just trim their nails and keep them fed. They're
Yeah.
pretty happy. Oh, and run them because
Yeah.
their energy.
So she was great. We have Leanne coming back on from Body Works.
Yep.
In Brooklyn.
And God, I can't apologize enough for that episode and the audio
Yeah.
issues that we had.
And we had
there.
almost
We
every
had
camera shut off.
Yeah, the video.
Yeah.
Just like by the end of the episode, only her camera was working. Just we figured it out. We figured out what the problem.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we knew what the problem was, but we ended up getting them to stay on now for a full episode, so that's great. And she's coming back on second week of December, I believe.
Yes, she is.
So,
Yep. So we get a good lineup.
Yeah, I actually came past her show notes. So when you come on the Community Workbench, we have you sign a release so we can post your audio and your video. And then I also staple the show notes to it. So this is the first season of notes and the release.
Should be 56 there, man.
At least I made you sign one too. So, so I get to start a new folder, and it's just kind of cool to see that pile. And I was kind of going through them today, and I saw hers where I had listed all of her services to make sure that we talked about all of her services. So we are going to do that again, December 2nd for. I mean, not December 2nd,
Nice.
the second week
Chop
of
Shop's
December.
coming on the-
Yeah, the second week of December, we are going to go through all of her services again, and make sure that people can hear it. 'Cause that's kind of a thing with podcasts, like your main thing with a podcast.
Yeah.
Is
the audio.
Oh, this is the one thing you learn over the year that the audio is the number one thing for a podcast.
Yeah, and I think you look at the year though, right? And I think when you look at, when we hit a barrier, we didn't stop. We were
Right.
like, okay, how can we fix it? Like, how can we figure this out, right? We hit a barrier with, let's go live with these cameras. They don't work to do that, right? Okay, so we'll go live on your phone. Okay, we do that. And then you hit a barrier, and you're like, okay, how can we adjust? And we just basically evolved over the last year, and through help of other resources that we called and
people were super supportive and tolerant of the unprofessionalism. We'll just call it that.
It's just, I think it's challenging when you're evolving and you're producing at the same time, right? Like you can't, when like us putting out a product, we have to try and pilot it. And that's challenging. And we run into issues where, it's too quiet, or it's this, or it's that. And we figure it out at some point. And luckily, we went through a lot of things tonight.
You know what? That's probably the best way to describe the year. It was a pilot. Most shows just have one episode. The first episode, that's a pilot.
We had 55.
I'm told that you call it a pilot because you're trying to get it in the air, on the air.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they call it a pilot. And that was our first year. Yeah. It was
our pilot went like this.
He was almost as drunk as the host.
But, I think,
And by the way, every time you hear that clink, that is my glass hitting the Community Workbench coasters from JG Creations, John, Jenna, If you need any kind of branding, he's your man. He's just been phenomenal support. He's been on
Yeah.
3 times. He was here for the Memorial Day.
He's a veteran.
Yeah, he's veteran owned, and he's even his boys are learning to how to run that, and
Nice, some labor.
yeah, and he's he's huge in the scouts for Troop 44. You just can't ask for a better local person,
Oh, he's a huge advocate for a local business.
for local
Actually, he
businesses.
comments lots of manufacturing in the area, small
Yeah.
businesses.
Yeah,
So there's, I mean, I don't want to say it's endless because obviously it's not. But while we're here, right? Willimantic is not far. Worcester is not far. Providence is not far. There's a lot of it. I mean,
right.
we had Enviro, Eric Anderson.
EC Restore.
Yes. So, but he's in Smithfield. He lives here,
Right.
but his
Yeah.
business.
And not only does he live here, he was on the board of ed,
yeah.
and after his very short, like the day after he was on this platform, he sent us 2 others
Yeah.
that are going to be on, and
Yeah.
we booked right away with them.
Yeah.
You know,
So while the we say local is relative
yeah,
to really where you live. And so if you live in Rhode Island and you have a small business wants to come on, have them come on.
Yeah.
The internet is around the world, and
Right.
and you don't know who you're going to reach and where their travels will take them
yeah,
to maybe take them into your business.
yeah. And when you're on the platform having this raw form, natural conversation, almost every person on that side of the bench has said something profound about their business.
Yeah.
So we always encourage that when we upload it to YouTube, we make it free for the public to download. You can download your episode and then cut reels. And
Yeah.
reels, they go a long way on social media, and that's kind of the forefront of advertising nowadays. And
It is. I get lost in the real game for quite a while sometimes, where you just keep flipping and you're like, oh.
yep.
And so it's yeah.
Yeah, and the first one to actually make a reel out of something that was said on the bench was
The Movers.
The Movers. Joey Diaz.
The name of that company.
Quality Guys Moving
There you
Company. Yeah, we're great with names. I don't know if anybody noticed that yet. But
him and his partner are on, and so he's not even around here anymore. He's in Virginia.
well, for a mover, around here is relative.
Right. Well, I
So
mean,
They
so
have
their second location, I guess, or second base.
Yeah. Yep. So they have one in Rhode Island where Mike is, and
Yep.
then Joey is Maryland.
Maryland.
And yeah, I believe it's Maryland. He'll correct me, I'm sure. But it doesn't matter. You just call Quality Guys or look them up on Facebook, and
Yeah,
they
they'll-
can move you anywhere in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, and whatnot. They do an unbelievable job. I've had them move, multiple clients, and they just do a great job. And that's the other thing is really the quality. We don't vet these businesses, but the quality and the feedback that we've gotten from people that either go to their shop or use their services, like it's almost like, all right, now I've been on the Community Workbench, I'm gonna give that quality level of service or product that we demonstrated on the Community Workbench, or that we talked about on the Community Workbench. So it's or they were just always doing that anyway. So it's yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like we don't vet them, but I truly believe that they are all trying to better themselves no matter what, and they're always trying to give the highest quality service or product that they're talking about on the Community Workbench.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, if that's what you're advertising and you don't give that, then somebody's bound to call you out. I mean, that's what Yelp's for.
Yeah.
Google reviews.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
some, especially Google reviews. A lot of these small businesses, right? They live or die by these reviews, and they talk about,
Yeah, everything ends up so public. And
yeah,
that's one thing I will say is, if you have an issue with any of these businesses, go to them first
yeah,
before you make it public. You
yeah,
know, before that would be my only advice as a consumer is, for somebody who's never written a bad review, and there's no reason for it, because if you have something negative to say or complain about, go to them, because there's no way they want anyone or any of their clients or customers to have a bad experience.
yeah. And you don't,
That's not how small business works.
right, and
So
right, and like small businesses, word of mouth,
yeah,
repeat business, right?
right.
And
Yeah,
so when you get a negative review and people read that, they believe it, right?
yeah,
And so
yeah.
again, it's like, yeah, if you talk to somebody the day it happens,
Right,
then you can address the situation. You should
right.
not be on the outside listening and post something publicly that could be damaging to a small business that barely makes anything, right? The
Right.
margins
Yeah.
are so small, and all it
But
takes is one person to look and
and
change that.
yeah, and it's it's different. It's not like you're at a box store that services millions of customers. That's not how small business works. If they could eventually grow to that, and that's fine. But if everybody has a bad day, everybody has defective whatever, and I mean we saw it all, especially through COVID, where everybody was just trying to make it work, whether they got screwed by supply
Yeah.
lines, or just not being able to, like, restaurants could only be at 50% at sometimes, and just anything. um I just urge everybody to talk to them before you go public with your complaint.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, my
that's
mother-in-law
my
told
main
me
thing.
today, I won't name the grocery store, but they had a glitch in their delivery system. Yesterday, she went in there to buy fruit, some type of produce. Everything was gone.
Oh wow.
So they had a glitch and they didn't get a delivery.
So it was through no fault of their own.
Correct. And they had nothing to buy for
Yeah.
produce. It was like all gone. And
Heartbreaking.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so while they are, at least in this area, they're not a small business, they're larger, but regardless,
Yeah.
that happens more commonly with small business, right? You're dealing with, like, let's take a coffee shop, right? You have a bakery, you have all these other, you have your dairy,
Yeah.
right? You have all these people that are coming into play just for your cup of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, what if there's a glitch?
Well, like, even the coffee shops struggled with the small batches of decaf.
Yeah,
The decaf thing had a big
yeah,
problem this past spring and summer,
yeah.
and
And I just bit the
it was-
bullet and drank caffeine in the afternoon.
I
And
had
didn't sleep.
I had caffeine last night with the veterans
I saw.
and
How'd you sleep?
fell asleep. Slept no problem.
Really?
Yep. I actually took a melatonin.
I think
5 milligrams.
I think it's more of a placebo, but sure.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, for someone like you with the high cortisol, you might think melatonin's
Might just start
a
working.
placebo. But no, I don't know. I fell asleep. I read. And I was falling
Oh,
asleep.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I could, yeah.
Book falling
I
on my
could-
face, and
I could have
right.
drugs and read and I'd fall asleep. But to the point, yeah, there's always going to be a challenge,
right.
right?
Yeah.
And I think as consumers, it is our job to, hey, let's not be so judgmental of our first interaction with somebody,
Right.
or if you don't know the whole situation, or
Yeah.
regardless, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, oh, maybe this happened, maybe that happened. I think if anything, that COVID taught us was that supply lines can just stop for
Yeah.
no reason.
Big business or small business,
Yeah.
it's all run by humans.
Yeah.
And 0 humans are perfect so far. So,
Definitely not here.
and thank you for not writing bad reviews when we had technical difficulties.
I don't even think we have a Google. Like, I don't think they can.
Yeah, perfect. Cannot review us, cannot cancel us. Say what you want.
I think they can cancel us, but regardless, just take an extra second,
Yeah.
take an extra minute to sit back. I know that there's several businesses locally that have gotten bad reviews on one time or another. And sometimes they're bad reviews from people that aren't even local. They're just literally passing through.
Yeah.
And it's a bad review for a small business is like a dagger.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's tough. And the other thing I'll say about that, I mean, I'm a realtor.
Really?
I know I'm not everybody's realtor. I understand that.
Well,
And we've
probably have
had,
better microphones if you were.
and we've had multiple realtors on the platform.
Right.
The Loomis team and the Mehans, the brokers of Remax Bell Park Realty. And we will have other realtors on. And, if, not every coffee shop is for everybody. Not every whatever is for everybody. It's,
Yeah.
Instead of writing a bad review, speak to them about it and then move on to the other person that services or makes products in that line too.
I mean,
'cause
there's people that
there's
go.
so many multiple
Yeah.
businesses to choose from.
Well, and there's, how many car companies are there, right?
Right.
I mean, like, I don't want to say it, but there's an ass for every seat. So it's like,
That's saying it more derogatory than I would have, but okay, it works.
but just,
Yeah.
some people like McDonald's, some people like Burger King, some people won't go to either.
Yeah,
And
like me.
but that's
Burger King's still a thing.
we went over this. We actually pitched to them.
And some people like, the local restaurants.
but if you but the point is that if you not everybody's gonna like you're not gonna like every type of coffee in your town. You're not gonna like every type of bar in your town or every type of restaurant in your town.
Yeah.
You do.
I haven't found one I dislike. Bars and coffee shops, I haven't found one I dislike.
But there are people that will say, "Oh, I like this better than this," and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just natural competition, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's good for society. Like you don't want to be a monopoly.
Yeah. And speaking of competition, I mean, there's iron sharpening iron somewhere out there. Here we practice cotton sharpening cotton
I wish I had a cotton ball.
to throw at me.
We should have put a net up with cotton balls that just fell.
The confetti of our birthday be cotton balls. Thank you, Kyle, for being the sharpest cotton in the bag. I wrote something down for that.
Joe
No,
said he
I
spoke. He spoke to you about an issue last night, but he believes it's just a time delay.
Yes, when we end an episode, the live can cut out early, and that's only because there's a delay for Facebook. So, that's just a technical thing. We may try and wait a few seconds at the end when we're done an episode to let the live feed. But then when you download the other feed, it'll be nothing. It'll be dead air afterwards. So it's kind of a cross, as to how we're going to do it. Trying not to cut off my ending comments when we're promoting the other businesses that are coming on the next week, stuff like that. Wow, this is very different when Kyle's not here and there's nobody to interview. I wrote down some goals for 25-26 season. One of those goals is to get more schools involved here. I know we drink on this platform. It doesn't have to always be, a drunken episode. Not that we've ever really gotten drunk, but we don't have to have booze. And our booze cart here can roll out of the studio, actually, if we really want to. And, it broke my heart a little when Michelle Murray, such a huge supporter of us, such a huge supporter of Ellis Tech, and always one of those people that is just always a cheerleader for progress and getting kids to be successful in education and in workplace and in sports. Michelle, if you're watching, thank you so much for all your support throughout the year and any continued support you give us. I still would love to have you on here. If there's anything we can do to get through the paperwork, to have you, other teachers, other administrators on for Ellis Tech and other state schools, definitely, let me know. You got my number. We've talked on Facebook Messenger before. I can't say enough about Ellis Tech. It's my alma mater, I just love the idea of promoting trades and promoting education, making sure that that's always a priority, and making sure that we have every kid in Northeast Connecticut getting a good education that'll never change. And whether the schools will accept this platform or not, I just hope that we can collaborate and boost our local education facilities. So that's one thing I want to work on for 25-26 year. The other thing I wanted to,
I guess,
what's that?
We're like a month and a half. So
Yeah.
we have like a cross year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't move your anniversary. So we just went.
That's the way it goes, man. That's my
fine.
fiscal year starting July.
So for the other goal that I wrote down here, get more towns and more town leaders involved. Canterbury shared the Bassett Brothers episode, gave them a huge boost in people who saw the episode, and then Woodstock Economic Commission, Amy Monahan.
Huge champion.
I mean, just
awesome.
An amazing group of people there at the Woodstock Economic Development, and hopefully other towns will follow, other town leadership will follow that. I'd love to have them all on here, either sharing their goals with us for the small businesses in there, and to come up with a plan. So when someone wants to build a small business in your town, we can help them out.
Right.
Whether it's this platform or another platform, or a packet of paperwork and somebody sitting next to them to help them through that paperwork, classes, whatever it takes. We gotta really push and let these small businesses know that there are towns behind them and supporting them.
I mean, and that's like the reality, right? I mean, you want your town to thrive, and you want your town to thrive with residential as well as small business.
Yes.
And I get, in Brooklyn we have also big box stores. I get that too.
Right.
But they can coexist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so Brooklyn is in a unique situation where they have a huge corridor of cars that come through on Route 6. Huge, right? And we have a lot of ample space for small business.
Yeah.
And so you have some right now actively moving to Route 6 that are in other areas of the town to sell things. And so if the town, and not just Brooklyn, any town, right, is so pro business, like Plainfield, and gives a pack and says, "Hey, this is what you need to start.
Right.
Like, how can we help you?
Right.
Like that's
Yes.
it should be chomping at the bit. How can we get your
Yeah.
business here? Right?
Yeah. And one little bit, like I know as a small business owner, and I've met a lot of other business owners. Some of them are I'm going to do this on my own. Mentality of no one helped me, and I started, and I got going, and I did this and that, and I get that. But you don't have to be in business alone. You don't.
Yeah.
And
Well, and I think, what more than half of the obstacles are all locally related,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
all town specific,
yeah,
like all
it's
your permits.
paper.
Yeah.
Well, there's state stuff
Yeah,
too to
Yeah, but all
state
your building
licensing
inspector and
stuff.
stuff, like that's all local,
Right.
Yeah. And so if you can streamline that process for somebody and say, hey,
Yeah.
let's make this portion of your whole process a little bit easier,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. I definitely. So that's one of my other goals for the 25-26 season is to get more towns involved, more leaders involved with accepting and helping and supporting small business. The other goal that I wrote down was to have more business associations on. Some people don't even know that there is a Brooklyn Business Association. There's a Killingly Business Association. There's a Putnam Business Association, Plainfield Business Association, Woodstock Business Association, Thompson Business Association.
So you look at Danielson and Putnam, right? Just those two in general.
Yeah.
The amount of events, right, that those business associations put on is crazy.
Right.
Right. So Danielson they had a Halloween thing, right? So they did like trick or treating down Main Street. They had a concert. They had all this other stuff. Putnam did the same thing, and so Putnam had a scarecrow contest. Shout out, Brooklyn Blooms won Best Rotary Park.
I can't believe you mentioned it.
But the point is they have a huge trick or treating event. Starts at Price Chopper, goes all the way around, right? Fire and Ice is one of the biggest events they have, right?
Yep.
And so all these things are done by the business association. Same thing in Danielson. All these things are put on by the business association. So it's so important to have them around to be able to do that, because Fire and Ice brought what 20,000 people there that day.
I actually think the last one was a record, and we've had great weather for the last couple of years. Great weather in the way of it's warm enough to walk around,
right?
And the ice melts faster than usual, but at least we get a whole day out of it. They do so much for small business. Some of them, that's their number one day of the year as far as income.
Yeah.
We
heard. So that's what Sawdust was saying. He's like, it's like I don't want to say do or die, but like it's an event you definitely participate in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a huge event. I'm there from 7 in the morning or earlier until
probably your favorite day of the year.
I don't know about favorite. But it's a fun day of setting up and hanging out with other volunteers. And if you want to volunteer, definitely, shout out. We welcome all the help we can get. And, by 11, 12 o'clock, the show gets going. And
that's the other
people
thing
roll in from 11 a.m. to,
we've been there for like 6 hours.
10:30, 11 o'clock at night is when people are still going.
Well, and that's the other thing is that those business associations need volunteers for a lot of these events, right? That these people aren't paid.
Yeah.
And in fact, to be part of a business association, usually
you
your business
pay your
pays.
dues. You pay your dues and you become part of it. And that's, another shout out to John Jenna at the Brooklyn Business Association. He's taken a position I can't remember what it's called, the title, but it's basically welcoming small businesses into. It's like welcoming membership
Yeah.
into the Brooklyn Business Association, and he's like, the first thing on the list is call Matt at the Community Workbench, so that
That's
you can
fantastic.
get on the Community Workbench, and I love it. I take everyone that calls me.
Yeah.
You know,
In
yeah.
fact, there's
So
a there. I'll reach out to him, but there's a so Jessica Tuesdays decided to retire, or go in a different direction. So
yeah,
that
so
space was available, and so this place that has a couple in Rhode Island called Blackstone does flight type food, and so they've signed a lease and hoping to open in the new year. Uh, called Blackstone Putnam. So we'll reach out to them, see if they want to come on. But uh, you know, having filling these vacant spaces, especially that so quickly, um, is is crucial to our small businesses flourishing. Right, somebody that comes to Putnam and comes to have a meal in one of the restaurants. There's several up there now, not many vacant spaces, right? They may bump around, and we have, as my wife and I at times, and same with the family, bump around from a couple of different places, right? And so uh, it's it's super important that when we have these vacant spaces downtown Danielson, downtown Killingley, downtown Putnam, that we fill them with small businesses that can thrive, right, and support a family locally as opposed to something larger. Um, and so we we want to encourage people to shop in those types of scenarios, right? All these places in Putnam, in Danielson, in Brooklyn, they all offer gift certificates. They all offer all these types of things. And so we want to encourage people to go there and encourage their family to go there and to spend time downtown. I mean, you can walk around downtown Putnam for hours and eat at restaurants, have drinks at local businesses, shop at antique shops. There's an ice cream shop, there's pizza places. There's tons of stuff to do. Putnam's done a lot of work, a lot of legwork in Putnam to get it to where it is, right? And Danielson's not far behind them. I mean, even in the last year, you see how much has changed.
oh yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, and it's amazing to see all these small towns taking note, because they're definitely making a ripple effect, and
Yeah.
Willimantic is up their game.
Oh yeah.
Big events there, a lot of restaurants moving in, really great food there. Norwich, same thing, big events, and um, they're Plainfield obviously picking up bigger events and doing so much. I've always mentioned the first selectman down there. I don't know if he's still, but Cunningham was the one that just brings a packet to
Yeah.
any small business owner that wants it, or they're building a small business. He cannot be more welcoming, and I hope every town takes that type of note and takes that leadership role to just encourage the
Yeah.
small business. And I know you can coexist with the box stores, but I hope they feel it. I hope they feel it in a big way with these small businesses taking on the market share.
I mean,
I really do.
yeah, I think that there's, I mean, America started on Main Street,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then expanded from there. So you see a significant shift, right? I don't know when it started, but somebody coined the phrase "Small Business Saturday" for after Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
And to me, it should be the Saturday before or every other Saturday,
or every day.
every day of the year. But at least if we're gonna do one of the Saturdays, it should be before Black Friday. To
Yeah.
me, Small Business Saturday should be the day that everybody goes out and gets as much as they possibly can from a local business, and then whatever they couldn't get from a local business, they go to the Black Friday for.
Yeah.
That's my take on that. I was always a little perplexed about the small business Saturday being the day after Black Friday.
Well, it's got a nice ring to it. That's
What's that?
probably why Small Business Saturday.
Right, but it should be the Saturday before.
Right, but
Black Friday.
I understand. I get your point, but the perspective is that
Marketing wise,
Friday
yeah,
starts Christmas shopping.
yeah.
Right? Doesn't really, but that's the theory.
Well, I'll tell you what. On Black Friday, I now have been
We should just call
at
it Friday.
least a decade strong of going to Allen Hill Tree Farm in Brooklyn and getting our tree and decorating the house.
Yeah.
We
We
don't-
also decorate the house.
We don't
Actually,
go
we-
anywhere else.
we-
That's what we do on Black Friday.
We I was it third or fourth time that we'll do Christmas tree decorating, and then we'll do some type of food on Friday.
For you and me.
Yeah,
Yeah, at one of the other. Well, I usually
our
have to bring.
families.
I usually have to bring a ladder to your house.
That's
to help
not
set up your
untrue.
tree.
All right, listen. We have listen. If you buy a house,
With cathedral ceilings,
Yeah.
which we both have done.
you feel an obligation to put a large Christmas tree
to
in
actually
there.
use the
Yes.
cathedral ceilings at least once a year.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
And I
heat
have
it, cool it, and
Yeah.
use it throughout the year, you
Listen.
might as well put a tree up in it.
I have no qualms about putting up a 15, I think probably 17 is probably the highest we got. 17-foot Christmas tree.
Mm.
And it taking me all day and several trips to the store to figure out lights and then put ornaments on, needing your ladder.
Yeah.
I have no that to me is like tradition.
Right.
I
It's
love it.
amazing.
Oh, it's
great.
fantastic.
And then the day we spend together taking them down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And it's funny because a couple of years you've gotten I would not quite a Charlie Brown tree, but like the tallest
That's hard.
tree. Well, I don't mean it in a harsh way. I just mean like it's open tree. It's not a thick tree usually.
So, right.
But then I'm like, oh man, what are you gonna do with this? And then Kyle and Sarah make it amazing.
No.
They wrap
Sarah.
every branch in lights.
Oh, that's me.
And then, decorate it, and it comes out amazing. Like, and there's so many decorations on it and so many lights on it, you can't even see that, you can't see through it. Like,
You got to wait for a finished product.
right, exactly.
And
it-
unfortunately,
it's-
you see the product going into the house.
and we're like, oh, there can't be any holes and stuff like that. And I was just like, they have this like gapingness, between every limb. And then all of a sudden, it's full, it's bright, it's beautiful, and
You know how many people
it
have
was-
said to us, I love driving by your house. Now, by your house is relative, right? We're
Right.
well off the road.
right?
And
Well,
people say,
yeah.
I love driving by your house and seeing your Christmas tree so tall
yeah,
or up in your windows. Up.
yeah,
It's like,
right. Because you guys
well,
have the wall of windows.
Yeah.
as
It's like,
well.
well, we have an obligation now.
Well, I will say you guys also do a really nice, like you shine the light on your barn.
Yeah.
And do either
Yeah.
an American flag during the summer months, and then you do the wreath
Yeah.
during the
Yeah.
holidays.
I think
And-
the wreath will be on the greenhouse this year. That's what Sarah wants. So, but
you don't want to get two wreaths. I know
she likes the American flag always out.
always up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And so I have to get another spotlight. But yeah, it's you think you do things for like a curb appeal, but really it's like for you when you look out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was actually for the podcast that I watch. It's actually kind of funny that I saw this where multiple podcasters, mostly comedians, but they were saying that they will pay the money to have their house decorated in a way that because seeing that every day, you don't realize how much it'll do for your psyche.
Yeah.
having nice decor
Yeah.
that you like seeing. And, it was one podcast where he was joking about how, like, his first couple of apartments, man, it was so morbid because he had nothing on his walls and it was like a mattress on the floor and it might as well have been prison. And he didn't realize that as like a 22-year-old that, how much energy that'll suck out of you.
Yeah,
And
it's
now,
funny you say that.
and now he'll spend the money on
Yeah.
decor and having somebody put it up professionally so that when you wake up in the morning, when you're getting your coffee, when you're walking
Yeah.
around, you have so much more, pleasure in
I think
seeing
I think
where you're at.
for a long time, and like probably baby boomer generation, right? They're working from home and things like that were not as prevalent. And I think so. So the focus on mental health, like mental health day, like speaking about, I got to take a day off. It's a mental health day, like didn't exist.
Right.
Right. And I think it's funny because I was driving through Situate on Old Route 6 and I saw like businesses that are right there on Main Street. And that's a cool little Main Street that had decorated for Christmas. I thought that's a lot of work. But then I thought to myself, yeah, but how much joy does it bring that person that walks in or even the person working?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the
Or the people just passing through.
right, exactly. And so like I would be the first to tell you that, yeah, who cares about stuff decorated on your house? But over the years, as you get older, you realize like how important mentally it is because, like if you enjoy Christmas, decorate for Christmas. Right. And it makes a huge difference.
For sure.
And so to be able to see that. So there's a lot of comments. So Serena Skaw.
Oh, Serena, welcome to the platform.
So she had said, put in the job lot parking lot, it'd be cool if they put up like white bulb lights and they had like a little sort of Christmas festival, right? You had like food trucks and stuff,
That's
little
what she was
craft
saying.
things, and stuff that
Nice.
you could sell some stuff. They do the farmers market already there,
Yeah.
right? You could do something like that pretty easily.
Serena's one of my clients, amazing human being, cooks like a dream. She's brought over prepared foods before for me, for my family, and just the talks that we have. She's this very passionate person, passionate about food, and just an amazing artist. Also, because she's done some, real estate investing, and then when she sells the real estate, really decorates amazingly. Like, she could very easily be a stager.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
homes.
And that's a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
Is that like the difference between an empty house and a staged house
Yeah.
is like night and day.
And you don't realize that.
Right.
Like how much that'll do for just people's psyche
Yeah.
to see like furniture in there and see like a home rather than just a house.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you think about, if you take that perspective and then you think about decorations for holidays and you think like, I get it. We're both big Christmas people. Not everybody is. Right. But if there's a big holiday that you love, like Halloween, Easter, doesn't matter what it is, Memorial Day, 4th of July.
Yeah.
Decorating and then you being able to enjoy that for however long. Now, Christmas is a little extreme, right?
Plus, it's an expression of art.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, just like this platform, it's,
Nice
it is nothing better than to just show people how passionate you are about something.
Yeah.
Especially the arts and other things that people see as beautiful.
Right. And we give you the open platform to just talk about yourself as much as you want.
Right? We encourage it because otherwise we don't have any content.
This is true, but we should stop telling people that. This is content. We've had the most engagement tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. That's heartwarming.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, so much for the support.
Yeah. Cool.
I can't wait to have another year and more years to come with this platform.
Yeah, just continue to grow the community.
Yes,
and
and make sure every small business is seen.
Yeah, I mean, That's our goal, right? I mean, we will continue. We will continue to pester you if you don't respond to see if you want to come on,
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form.
One thing that we haven't really had on is the farmers.
Yeah.
And we have booked Daigle Farms.
Yeah.
They're coming on in January, and super excited to have them on, because they're like their motto, simply growing food,
Yeah.
and no chemicals, no pesticides, and they deliver groceries every week, and getting people more in tune with the food that they eat, which
Yeah.
is always a healthier avenue to take.
Well, you know where the food, you know where it comes
Right,
from.
know where it's coming from, and it supports a local family, the Daigle Farm, and just I want to have more local farms on,
You know,
especially
you
to
know,
talk about.
you know who we could have on? The farm that surrounds both of our houses.
Possibly. Yeah, if you're out there and you want to come on, for sure. That's Ennis and
So it's Elm Farm. No, Ennis. Yeah, you're right.
Ennis and Egbert, I
Yeah.
think is the family names.
Yeah.
In if I've gotten that wrong, I apologize. But
So Ann Ennis is their. I don't know what generation she is. She's a little bit younger than us. Maybe quite a bit younger than us. But
it is funny to say, like, oh, you talk to someone like they're your
yeah,
age, and they're like,
but
dude,
she
you're
would
my
probably
dad's
yeah.
age.
So if anybody has a connection with Ann Ennis and they want to reach out to her, we'd
Yeah.
love to have her on.
Yeah,
We are their neighbor.
Yeah, any and all farms, local, local and far. That's small business. We talk about being the lifeblood of the community, but really, it's the food.
Well, especially in this area in particular, right?
Yeah.
So farms are like so prevalent because that's like you look at the real estate in Brooklyn, it's farms.
Yeah,
Look at the real estate in Pomfret, it's farms.
yeah.
Woodstock,
Woodstock
farms. And so yeah, they for sure are the ones struggling. And while you may not be able to buy something directly from them, there are ways you can buy things that would
support them.
Yeah, that would help benefit
their
them.
families.
There are certain farms that have farm stands and stuff that you could directly purchase from.
Right.
But the ones that don't, there are ways that money could still get there.
Yeah, and to hear from them would just be amazing.
Yeah.
And so when we have, it's funny because I called Dylan Daigle, the owner of Daigle Farms, not realizing it's like the heart of harvest time. It's like, I'm pretty busy. No, he called me back like a week later, and he's like, "Yeah, sorry, I called you back a week later." I'm like, it was pretty naive of me to call you during the couple of months that you make all of your money for the year. It's like, what a donkey. But yeah, it's super welcome to have him on, and any other farm or any other farm stand that wants to come on.
Anyone that wants to come on that owns a small business.
And I get it if you're doing a farm stand and you're not necessarily like licensed to do that. I get it, but I encourage anyone to frequent any of the local farm stands out there.
Yeah, the majority of them have like little boxes.
The best food.
Yeah.
The best food.
Yeah.
It's just you don't get that from the
Yeah.
box stores.
No.
And
it's fresh.
Yeah.
And it's natural.
Yep.
A lot of these farm stands have like all kinds of little additives that you wouldn't think they would have there sometimes. So there's we should
What do you mean by additives? Like
not additives to
in the
food.
food.
No.
Okay.
Like this farm sells pumpkins, but they also sell pumpkin pie because
Right.
like stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That you'd be surprised to see.
Right, and this farm stand, like Lapsley's, they sell so many other farmers' stuff.
Yeah.
There.
Oh,
not
Lapsley's,
just
yeah.
their own apples
Ah,
and their own fruits.
should
and
have
stuff.
them.
Yeah, I'd love to have Lapsley's Orchard on.
Yeah, they're great. They do so much for the community. They have like a sunflower type thing that they benefit local community for.
Yeah, they have the hay rides.
and-
that are usually
yeah.
just free.
Yeah.
Just go there and have a hay ride. Go there and We've done pictures there with a professional photographer.
Still can't help you, face.
We had mostly the kids in those pictures.
Yeah, I mean, but Laps is just like a small example. There's tons of them everywhere.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And then there's Woodstock Farms, and they now have this little hidden coffee shop right there in
Stock Farms, what is that?
so like right as you driving into Woodstock campus on 171, driving north
Yeah.
into Woodstock campus, there's the sign Woodstock Farms and Apple Orchard, Woodstock Apple Orchard.
You take a left on 171
yeah,
in the center of town.
yeah, before you get to like the Pink House and all
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
So, and they have their cider is amazing. Them and Lapsley's, I've had both in my fridge at the same time as far as cider and their cider donuts. They are amazing. It's
Apple cider.
so good.
I'll pound 6 of them on the way home.
But now, I didn't realize it until I took my friend from Vegas up to the cottage, the Pink House.
Yeah.
You know, things, and then as we left, we stopped at Woodstock Orchards, and they have just amazing products, tons of gourds, tons of apples, tons of they have the stuff that you put inside of the spices, and but then right in the next building over, same parking lot, it's this little cafe with coffee, cider donuts, and it's
They're
a
probably not
post
far.
and beam. It's amazing. A little post and beam, little cafe. I was just like,
Can't
this
beat
is
that.
amazing.
I mean, you think about like so one of my buddies, his dad rides motorcycles, and he's like, oh, we go to Eastern Connecticut all the time. Like they just drive around Pomfret, like
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon.
I will say a lot of motorcyclists like Connecticut and Northeast Connecticut.
No
One,
helmet
because
law.
of the windy rains, but there's no windy roads, but there's no helmet
Yeah.
law. They love that. And,
To each
it
their
just
own.
Makes them more free, I guess. Feeling the wind in their hair. I don't know what that is, but might as well just wear a helmet.
Arm hair,
For
maybe.
me. I don't
But-
go sleeveless either.
I mean, yeah, 171 is Tailbrook Winery.
Yep.
So they have they when you want to talk about events between the winery that's at the top of the hill, the brewery at the bottom, the brewery always has on the weekends. They have food trucks. They have
Yeah.
food trucks and they have live music.
Yeah.
Almost every week.
Yeah, and they are the first property in Connecticut to have both a brewery and a winery on the same
Oh, no
property.
kidding.
Yeah, they were the first ones, and that was one of Linda's goals. Linda is the owner of the
I mean,
winery, and
it's
and
fantastic.
property.
They have their beer is incredible, their wine is incredible, and they always have like great food truck. The last time we were there was Cousins Maine Lobster.
Yeah, and they're
oh.
a small business that went big.
Yeah, so they were a Shark Tank thing. So
Yeah,
they
got big.
I don't want to say they sold out but they kept their, which is really hard to do, but they kept their quality the same. that
Their
you would-
discipline.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
It's
so
a show of
everything
discipline.
everything is unique. So they were there. I think it was the Cousins Maine truck from Rhode Island
Yeah.
that was there. But we've been there when there's been other trucks, and they're
Yeah.
incredible. And they have the one thing, especially if you have a family, both of us have families with kids, is they have pretty much an open space outside.
Right. They have the yard games,
Yeah.
cornhole, ladder ball.
And there's
just like all kinds of stuff for them to do. Plus, the live music is always great.
Yeah, and you can
listen to.
and you can bring, if you don't want to buy food from them, you can bring a picnic,
Yeah.
and you just can't find
Yeah.
a table, set up a table.
Have a beverage.
People bring chairs and a table and sit up in the grass and just listen to music and buy their wine and their beer
Yeah.
and bring a charcuterie board.
Yeah. Thank you for Sarah to introduce me to my first charcuterie board. If you're listening.
But
yeah, I mean, again, Woodstock has been one of our biggest supporters with the town being behind us.
Yeah.
And I encourage more of them to just reach out. We'll
Yeah.
have them on. We love to boast all these small town places. I mean, we had Ben Young on here. He's a relative of Woodstock Orchards.
Yeah.
He's an excavator. You know, runs a really great, efficient business where they're moving earth products
Yeah.
constantly,
Yeah.
and I mean, talk about quality. Some of the patios that he's put in, some of
yeah.
the rockscapes, and just some of the landscaping he's done is, I mean, he's done it here at my own house. Just an amazing person to work
Yeah.
for and or have work for you. I I helped him when he was here, so I feel like I worked for it. And then when we do perk tests together all the time when people buy land, and yeah, I feel like I'm his laborer sometimes, digging helping dig the perk holes and stuff like that. He's just so much fun to be around. And yeah, Ben Young, Young's Excavation, they have a Facebook page. His wife Danny runs it, and shout out to them for coming on. She shared a couple of our episodes on the Woodstock Residents page and stuff like that. It's just like super supportive.
Yeah.
And that will go both ways for as long as I'm in business, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's just like look in your backyard, right?
Yeah.
Like not your physical backyard, but there are so many businesses of what you need
Yeah.
right here,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And I think if everybody thought that way, it'll naturally grow the community
Right.
back to where it should
Yeah.
be, right?
Yeah. I mean, even the referees that we had on
Yeah.
for basketball, shout out to Christian Sarantopoulos and Ben Wakely
Yeah.
coming here right after March Madness and talking about basketball and refereeing, and the team of being, the team you can be on as far as refereeing goes, being still connected to the sports. And, I know I lack in talent for being a referee for sure.
I would struggle. I
Because,
refereed a few of Sophie's soccer games this year,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
there were things I was not prepared for. Just because they
Yeah.
like it. That is another thing. Like with their referees are like so they do like recreational basketball, but then they go all the way up to D1
Oh, they have.
NCAA basketball,
I
right?
mean,
So
well, they have some that are in the WNBA
yeah,
and the NBA.
right. So
It's
there's
incredible.
all levels, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, if like
In the NCAA, yeah, it's like, they have that path.
Yeah.
It's incredible what we've had on that side of the bench,
yeah,
for talent and for the path to success.
yeah,
And,
oh yeah,
and what you can do. So, yeah, I mean, this has been a great night. This has been so cool to reminisce.
to look back at the year and see everybody that came on and how different everybody was,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It was like we have no bias. We don't care.
Yeah.
Like if
And-
you're a small business and you want to come on, talk about it. We're intrigued.
Yeah.
There were a lot. We learned a lot of things
Yeah.
that we didn't.
Even the Posh Potty.
Yeah.
I mean, that just, I have to mention them. I mean, to just take another swing at something that's not as pleasurable. I mean, to have porta potties at an event, it's like something you have to do. Why not make it amazing?
Yeah.
An amazing experience or a more comfortable experience to go to the bathroom
Yeah.
at an event.
Exactly.
And and then to hear their perspective about property management and just doing business overall, it's just it's really it's kind of selfish of me because I just love people watching in that way. Just seeing what they do, their perspective, their origin story, their what makes them tick as an entrepreneur.
It's yeah. I mean, I've always been fascinated with small business and entrepreneurship, and to see where this is episode 56. So to see 55, not probably because we had some people come back on because of new ventures.
Right.
But to see, right,
The-
like Two Dogs came on the first time, right, and
Yeah.
they talked about all coffee. The second time they talked more about like the
shop
process and the shop, right? Exactly.
Yeah, and opening.
And
the shop.
those are two very different.
Oh yeah, and
types
then like
of
John
entrepreneurs.
Jenna, I mean, he came on. He had just basically gone full time with
Yeah.
his business, and that's a huge leap.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone really knows that unless they've done it before. What the leap is to go from, punching in and getting a paycheck, almost guaranteed paycheck every week to, hey, we're gonna go and work for commission.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then to see him come back here and be thriving and just having such a quality product all the time with, coasters and just, he can put your brand on anything.
Yeah.
With his
Yeah.
lasers and, he does leather engraving
And John's
the
probably
growth
the
is
most
huge.
one of the most honest people I've ever met in my life. Like he'll
Right.
tell you. So I had approached him to do a Brooklyn Boom sign, and he was very honest about it and the cost and just the product. It was gonna be a sign outside.
Yeah.
And he was just he was very honest about it, and we greatly appreciated that, and we had to go in a different direction, but
Yeah.
he didn't try and take the business and okay, here,
Try to sell you something
Correct.
he's not. And
exactly,
If
and that would last,
and if it wasn't working,
right?
he would be the first to tell you.
Yeah,
If he wasn't making enough money or if it wasn't working,
right.
he would be the first to be like, I'm an engineer. He has offers all over to go be an engineer when he reaches out. So, or if he was to reach out, or just people seeking him, and he's staying strong. I ran into him at a restaurant out in Willamette yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon for lunch. Him and his wife were there, going over his goals for 2025, and I just it was so it was just so pleasing to see that he's not stopping.
Yeah.
He's not stopping.
No,
and,
no.
And,
He's
and
it's
going.
it's full steam ahead, and it is awesome to see, and I think for us because we know John so well, and we've seen the infancy, right?
Right.
And so to see it expound, and him us, right?
Yeah.
Like you've seen the infancy, and you see
was-
I mean, he came on last week, and he was on like very early when things were
he was our
different.
third episode.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Things are a lot different.
Yeah.
And
he
it makes
just
a
he
difference.
thought it was really cool that we were doing, we were sitting with a singer songwriter to do our intro song, and it's a local singer songwriter, just like right up our alley.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
how
that's
we're gonna
cool.
do it.
So
And
2025 is then it's season 2. I guess we should say,
season
right?
2.
will be awesome. We'll
Yeah.
come out with an intro song, and we'll have some changes coming up, but the core of it is still small business.
Small business and free interviews.
Yep.
We're gonna definitely up our game in advertising and doing plugs for small businesses. If you want to advertise with us, we're
let
gonna
us
get
know.
that process going. Personally, I couldn't do it without Kyle. I wrote a few words about Kyle. Actually, I don't know if I wrote the words. Welcome.
Was it AI?
Well, Kyle, I just wanted to take a moment and say you're so smart, amazing, good looking.
Good looking.
I don't know.
That
What
must
else?
be from my wife.
What else did you write here?
Oh, well played.
Your handwriting is atrocious.
A face for radio.
Handwriting for a doctor's office.
Oh man, but yeah, we are excited for season 2. I'm excited that we have overcome a lot of our technical difficulties that we faced early on because we've had a good stretch of like normal product
Yeah.
right? Like we
Normal
put out a
routine
podcast,
episode.
it had yeah, it had
Yeah.
normal audio, it had normal video, and we're like, okay, that's great. And neither of us are engineers in any shape or form, audio,
Or
video.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Cinematography.
yeah, and it is not our full-time job by
Right.
any means.
Right.
You know, I think to get to here and see where we were at the beginning is, I think, pretty darn remarkable.
Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah.
have everybody on that we can
Yeah.
in season 2. Who knows if, you know, we did 56 in the first season. Who knows what oddballs we'll have out? There's only
Yeah.
52 Mondays, as you say. Maybe true, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. We manufacture words here. We can manufacture Mondays.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
It is. Oh well, one more. We'll put up a fight for small businesses, just like Rude Dog Boxing.
They were on. We didn't talk
Yeah,
about that.
they
But
were
they were
awesome.
on. They
They were-
started in Brooklyn. They have
Yeah.
4 locations now. One in Florida. A couple of 3 others up here.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
it's
They're going strong. Them and we're gonna have Ashling Jim
yep.
back on. We had the jiu-jitsu Team Squared on.
Yeah.
You know, they're just amazing and well-disciplined people to do what they do, and you know, just super community-minded
Yeah.
type of situation. How long have we been going?
2 hours and 5 minutes. But I will tell you though, we've had the most engagement. 54 comments.
Nice.
Yeah. So, well, you know, it's obviously a record for us. But to see the interaction is
that's-
truly incredible.
Thank you so
So-
much, everybody, for all the support throughout the year, all the sharing, all the commenting, all the referrals to have people on, and you know, just welcoming this idea has been, you know, just so cool, and to helping us execute this
Yeah.
this idea of bolstering
Bolstering, yep. You got it.
bolstering the small business community.
Yeah. Yep.
And the charity community as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Join us again Monday night, November 18th at 6 when we go live with Tommy Toy Fun. Learn how you can donate. If you don't know already, Tommy Toy Fun is an amazing charity that provides toys for underprivileged kids on Christmas. Just just spreading joy overall. So cool. So we'll see you next Monday night at 6. As always, buy local, hire local, dine local, volunteer local, donate local. Happy anniversary to our community workbench. Have great days, everybody.